From? You're from Towers. We heard that. Towers High
Born and
School.
raised right
Born
here
and
in
raised.
DeKalb County.
There you go.
District 3.
District 3.
Brandon went to Morehouse. He's on here too.
Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Doing well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm great, man. Where'd you go to high school?
I went all over, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
Yes.
Very good.
So I went to a high school up in Cleveland, Ohio.
My family is from Cleveland as well. I've got lots of family. My brother used to teach at a school called Lutheran East.
Yeah, I know Lutheran East. It's right up the street from where I live.
Yeah.
So I know
one of those
exactly where
heights.
that is. My mother went there. Yeah.
It's a million heights.
Oh, wow.
Shaker Heights and Maple Heights, and
Yeah,
I get confused.
That's correct. Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights, Maple Heights. That's all of them.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't have your bio, Miss Costin, so I'm gonna just wing it. I'm gonna let you say a few words too, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm ready to sign in. Just let me know, Mr. Brand. I'm excited because we got justice tonight. So come on, I gotta get on so I can go celebrate. Come on.
Yes, we did.
All right, I'm gonna count you in. And 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Touchpoint series. I'm Commissioner Larry Johnson. You all are in for a treat tonight. This is all about economic development, entrepreneurship. It's about you. It's about what you can do with your life and not waiting on other people. It's about how do you get your dreams accomplished and link, leverage, and empower all the things that we talk about in District 3, which is results you can see. We will explore those tonight to a young man and a young lady who were born here in Georgia. One is from DeKalb, one is from Atlanta. But I look at them as trailblazer as we look at restaurants, as we look at history. And we will hear some exciting things. So get your pen and pad ready, take good notes, send it out to other people, gram them, Facebook, tweet it out, because we want you to be a part of a discussion that if you know from this past year in the pandemic, a lot of folks were out of a job, but if you were a hustler, you never lost a job. You just found another way to try to bring in that stream of income. And so we want to make sure you understand another stream that you can use. And we take the no out of your vocabulary. We take the can out. And so you will hear that tonight. So we also want to pay homage and respect because what happened, what we heard in the Chauvin case trial, in the murder of George Floyd, has been found guilty on all 3 charges. Of course, we don't delight on sending anyone to prison because we would rather see George Floyd here. But we're grateful that justice was served, and we want to make sure we continue to send out a prayer to Minnesota, to the Floyd family, to all the folks who've been impacted by this case tonight. So let's stay and keep people in our prayers. We came up with our theme this year, which is giving and empowerment is not just a moment, it's our mission. Giving and empowerment is not just a moment, it's our mission. And we're going to continue in that theme. We started Touchpoint almost a year ago, where we were sheltering in place, and we wanted to bring to you some real live, expert-led information that will empower you to succeed. And we've been getting some great testimonies from folks who have listened to us over this year. And we're going to continue to do this until we can get out there and make a difference. And we're going to show you at the end of the program on what we're doing to get you ready. And we got some celebrities coming out this weekend on Candler Road. So you stay tuned till the end. So you're going to find out how you can be a part of what we did last year and you can make a difference. So let me introduce to some and present to others. Rodney Bullard, the Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility at Chick-fil-A. He's and the executive director for the Chick-fil-A Foundation, where he leads the company's corporate community and philanthropic strategies, which is focused on fostering youth and furthering education. He prior to this, he was assistant United States attorney prosecuting complex criminal cases. For his service, the United States Attorney General presented him with one of the Department of Justice's highest honors, which is the Director's Award. Prior to his role, Rodney was selected as a White House Fellow, the nation's most prestigious public service fellowship. As a White House Fellow, Rodney was placed at NASA working directly for NASA administrator. a decorated veteran. I didn't know that part. This man has served our country. Now he's come back to serve our community. Born and bred at Reed Ann High School, he served in the United States Army, Air Force, a judge, advocate, general course, eventually working at the Pentagon as a congressional legislative liaison for the Office of Secretary of Air Force. And you know, we just got the first Black man to be Secretary of Defense.
Absolutely,
Wow.
and Secretary of the Air Force, both.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. We in the 2021, we're still talking about the first, y'all.
We're still talking about the
That's
first.
amazing. He's an alumnus of the United States Air Force Academy, Duke University School of Law, University of Georgia Terry School of Business, the Harvard Business School Advanced Management Program. This man is doing it. He serves on the Salvation Army National Advisory Board, University of Georgia Terry School of Business, Junior Achievement. You know I love Junior Achievement. I was in Junior Achievement in high school in Chicago. It taught me about stocks and trades and all those things. It helped me to be what I am today, because when the recession hit, I didn't have to really worry because we had a lot of good stocks saved up. So that comes from years of experience. Page, Georgia Educators Foundation Board of Directors, the National Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Board of Directors, Leadership Atlanta Board of Directors. And this guy has been 40 under 40. I was a 40 under 40 with the University of Georgia, Georgia Trend Magazine. And they say he's an outstanding young leader in 2010, but I don't think it has stopped. He's always been an outstanding leader. I mean, you know, folks, you know, John Maxwell tells us all the time, everything rises and falls with leadership. And what you're going to hear tonight, Touchpoint District 3 DeKalb, is a person who exudes it, who shares it, who continues to connect with us. And then he brought on a trusted sidekick who is doing great work. I don't know all about her, but I know working for him, you can't be no rookie. And so she is here, Ms. Costin. I'm gonna let her say a few words and introduce herself. But tell us a little bit about yourself. They didn't send me your bio, but I know you got to be dynamic in your own way.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Thank you for having me on tonight. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Sonia Costin, born and raised in the city of Atlanta, educated in Atlanta Public Schools, went on to graduate from Clark Atlanta University with my undergraduate degree, and went to work for Delta Airlines. Worked for Delta Airlines for 22 years. And now my second career is with Chick-fil-A. I've been with Chick-fil-A for about 12 years now.
Beautiful.
And absolutely love my Atlanta-based companies. So have had an opportunity to grow within both organizations and do a servant leadership role at Chick-fil-A now in franchisee selection. So I serve on that team and serving what we consider to be the Atlantic region, making franchisee selections in the Atlantic region. So that's a little bit about me.
Of which this region is part, yes. And so Sonia is amazing. We wanted to bring Sonia on because you talked about economic development and economic empowerment. And we want people to know how they can go about the process of being a Chick-fil-A operator. You know, we call them operators, we call them owner operators. And so you'll hear that term as well. You'll hear Sonia use that term. And oftentimes people think that it is an insurmountable task. They think it's financially insurmountable. But we want people to understand that it is not. And we want people to know that it is a very profitable endeavor, but even more so that Chick-fil-A is a very supportive company. And so wanted to bring Sonia on to talk about what she's doing, the intentionality behind what she's doing. And I would love to talk to you a little bit more about what Chick-fil-A is doing in the community and how we see economic development and economic empowerment being key to our philanthropic strategy.
Well, let me touch on that first, because in light of what we're dealing with COVID, systemic racism, and just dealing with social justice. But we find companies like you who are still in the social responsibility business. I can go to Chick-fil-A on Wesley Chapel with TJ.
Yes.
And talk to him. And we've done programs. I had Mindful Mondays, and I wanted to do it while we talked about mental health about 2 years ago. And he signed on to be part of it. We had breakfast and had residents come over there, and we had a mental health expert. This was before COVID even broke out. And then we talked about doing something with cops, to have breakfast with the cops. And COVID just messed it up last year. But talk to us about the social responsibility of Chick-fil-A and just social responsibilities for what businesses should be focusing on in this day and
No,
time?
absolutely. Initially, businesses have to focus on business, and the business of business is that. And so we focus on hospitality. We focus on making sure that our product is a great product. And TJ does a wonderful job there on Wesley Chapel. As you said, I'm a son of South DeKalb, grew up right off of Candler Road between Candler and Gresham and Flat Shoals. And so very familiar with TJ's store on Wesley Chapel and definitely know what he does. But even more so than just the hospitality and the food, we have to make sure that we're good neighbors. We have to make sure that we connect with the community. TJ, in fact, this past summer, we worked with him around ensuring that COVID testing was available to those in South DeKalb. Wow. And so he would give food to the testing sites throughout South DeKalb. And he did a wonderful job there. But at the end of the day, we have to think about the purpose of our corporate social responsibility, really our philanthropy, is to ensure that every child grows up to be everything that they can be. And we know that talent is distributed evenly, but opportunity is not distributed evenly. And so we want to give educational opportunities through junior achievement. We want to give opportunities to work at Chick-fil-A, opportunities to do great things beyond what we're doing. And on the west side of Atlanta, we have given over $60 million to the revitalization of the west side of Atlanta to ensure that those neighborhoods remain culturally relevant and also culturally intact to their past. So we're proud of that. We're proud of the work that we continue to do, particularly in communities of color. This past year and for the next year or so, we devoted our True Inspiration Awards, which is our giving arm, to communities of color. We said that 100% of the dollars would go towards communities of color, and we had an emphasis on communities or organizations led by Black men and women. And so we do that unabashedly because we know the importance of racial equity.
Wow, and I did send something out about you giving out grants to nonprofits, African-American nonprofits, and we really appreciate it. I don't know how many we got to apply from our side of town, but to be proactive and to take a stand like that, I think is admirable. And it's something that we should be doing. All our corporate citizens need to do this to make a difference. So we applaud you and appreciate that. And we know that you are serious and deliberate. I could tell when you step in the room, you're sincere and you're trying to make happen. You were doing it before the social unrest happened. And so we appreciate that. And I remember your counterpart that used to be there. Used to go to Church of Christ over there off of Austin Drive, and how the Chick-fil-A helped that church really build a new church that's over there. I was there when I was there when they gave out the award to the church, and he went to school with my pastor in UGA, and so they were all a Kappa together. So I just want to say thank you for that. But now I want to switch to, as we get ready to come out of COVID and get ready to start the economic renewal and get back to reconnecting, we want to talk about how do you become a owner Chick-fil-A. And I want Miss Sonia to talk to us about the process, and if we could put some things in the chat that people can follow up with you on, as you say them, we're glad to do that so they can follow up questions and how to get an application. But talk to us about that whole process, the keys to making that a reality.
Yeah, thank you. Becoming a Chick-fil-A owner operator, as Rodney indicated earlier, is a great business opportunity. And it's one that we want to continue to educate and share with people across the nation, because a lot of people don't clearly understand a lot about how to become a Chick-fil-A owner operator. While you read in the paper that it's harder to become a Chick-fil-A operator than it is to get into Harvard, it's a pretty competitive process, but not impossible. So I want to share the steps with you to kind of talk about how to go about doing that. So the first thing I want to make sure that people understand is the Chick-fil-A owner operator opportunity is not a passive business investment opportunity. It is a business opportunity that requires hands-on, day-to-day in the operation, committed to serving your community, committed to being a part of the business, serving your team who's working for and with you, as well as building and continuing a legacy that Mr. Truitt built many, many years ago. So it's not just an opportunity for people to financially invest, it's an opportunity to carry on that legacy and to build a business and also to serve a community. So we do encourage that people actually take the first step by looking online on our website, chickfil-a.com, and it has a tab there that says careers. Under the careers tab, it talks about corporate opportunities, and it also talks about franchisee opportunities. When you click on the franchisee tab, it gives you some high level information, and it also dispels a number of myths that people have heard about, which I'll tap into that just a little bit here in a minute. But mainly what I want you to hear is it's an opportunity that you can achieve. That's something that you can achieve. I want to make sure people understand that.
Do you hear that? You can achieve it. Thank you.
You can achieve it, honestly. We are just looking for passionate people who want to serve their community. We're looking for passionate people who want to help and grow young people, because that will be a large majority of the team members that work in your restaurants if you're successful. And then we want to make sure that you connect with the community. Connecting with the community was a big part of Mr. Truitt's legacy, making sure that we give back, we serve the community, we partner with them. So those are the types of things that we want to make sure you understand up front. And the process can be a little intimidating because it can be kind of lengthy. I'll just be totally honest with you. The application process, as I indicated, can be started online. And a few things I'll tell you before you actually submit your application that you probably need to know, and I want to clarify, is about the financial investment. Many people say, oh my gosh, it's only, and I love the word only, $10,000, because that is only one part of the process, honestly.
What? You say what?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
$10,000, yes, $10,000 is your initial investment into the business, but it requires so much more than that. It's going to require your commitment on a day-to-day basis to be a part of the business, to help grow and build your leadership team, to help grow and build your team within the restaurant who are serving your guests every day, and also to be a present force in the community so people know that you have intentionality around partnering with them as your guest and as your community. So there's so much more to it than just the $10,000. And oh, by the way, I want to make sure you understand the interview process can be very rigorous as well. Chick-fil-A has a very high degree of intentionality around partnering with people who want to be that servant leader, who want to be servants in their community. And we want to make sure that when we partner with people, we're partnering with folks who have that passion. And it's not only your entrepreneurial spirit, but it's your character. It's the chemistry you have with people, how you treat others. It's a growth mindset. You want to continue to grow and help your community grow. And it's also the competency piece. If you have that business acumen to make sure that you want to run a business, and it's not just sitting back saying, oh, it'll work itself out. That's not what we want. We want people who are passionate about growing a business and growing people. So the application process is actually a tiered process, and it takes stages and steps, if I can say that. Then what initially happens is when you submit what we call an expression of interest, that's the first step in the process. And we get thousands of those on an annual basis. But again, please hear me, it's a lot to do and it's a lot of people interested, but it's not impossible. Once you submit your EOI, then we will invite you to submit your application. And please don't get discouraged. The application is like a tiered application process. So you get one piece of the application, like we'll ask you for your educational background. You'll get a second part of the application, which may talk about your financials. Then you'll get a third, which talks about where your geographical preferences are. And then you'll get the last one, which talks about work history. Maybe not exactly in that order, but you will get at least a tiered application to go through that process. So I don't want you to think that if you get multiple stages that, oh, it's not going to work out for me. That's not exactly the case. Once the application has been submitted and you move to the next tier or the next part of the process, it's what we call a pre-recorded interview. And that pre-recorded interview is actually a link that we will send you to an application that you can actually go on and answer several questions. And in answering those questions, it's going to record your answers. The answers will be then transferred back to us on the franchisee selection team, and it will be evaluated and assessed from that point forward. After that particular step, we go through what's called a virtual screening interview, and then you will be forwarded on to the next part of the process if you're successful, and then it will go into what we call an in-person interview. Well, you know, with COVID, that looks a little bit different now. So hopefully once the pandemic has subsided and we move out of this particular realm that we're in right now, we will be back to doing in-person interviews. But in the interim, we're actually doing virtual interviews in place of bringing people into our corporate offices. After that step, it's called a focused interview. And what we mean by focused interview is when we actually bring you in to the office to actually talk about a specific opportunity where you may have expressed interest geographically. So if you say to me, Sonia, I want to only be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I actually have an opportunity that comes up, or if you say I want to be in DeKalb County, Georgia, and we have an opportunity that comes up, then we will contact you and see if you're interested in this location, and then we will assess you in a focused interview for that particular opportunity. And last but not least, the last step in the process would be what we call a final interview. The final interview is when you actually come into the office and we actually sit down and we have a final conversation with you. And then we bring in your spouse to that interview as well to invite them. They will be an intricate part of your business, I'm sure. So we want to make sure that we include them to get their perspective and make sure they understand the opportunity exactly that you're asking for. And that entire process, Larry, could actually take anywhere from 18 to 36 months.
Oh, wow. This is
Yeah,
more relationship too. You're not just, that's the money is just you think about the money, but you're trying to build a relationship. So it takes longer, which is a good
absolutely.
process because you want to have somebody that when you put in the community that they're really not only just there to make a buck, but also connected to the community, very focused and want to build
Absolutely.
relationships. So I just want people to hear that because that's worth more than the money. So thank you for that.
It is. And Sonia, tell the folks as well, it takes a little while, but what's the return on investment from a financial standpoint? How well do our stores do compared to our peers?
Yeah, our stores are amazing as far as their return on investment. So what has happened over the course of time is we continue to build sales. Our owner operators are literally profitable. I mean, when I say profitable, they get a percentage of their sales from what they do or net profit that they split with Chick-fil-A, but it can be a very lucrative business. It can be a
Wow.
situation where people are making anywhere from, it depends on the concept, it depends on where they are. They can make anywhere from like 95 in a mall, maybe opportunity in a smaller mall, low volume mall, to anywhere upwards of $300,000 to $400,000 a year.
To upwards of, we have operators in some locations and making millions a year.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I think average operator income right now is around $400,000.
Yeah.
And so if you think about that, go ahead.
Wow. Is all the Chick-fil-A sites have to be the same size, or is it based on the market? Because some may be smaller, or are they all the same concept stores in terms of seating and all that?
They will vary by location, Larry, depending on the lot that we're able to secure for that particular building. Some of the older buildings you will find will be a little bit smaller and shaped a little bit differently, simply because of that was the particular floor plan that we had at that particular time. But it really depends on geographically where the site is, how big the lot is, and how we have partnered with local municipalities to configure those particular lots and how we lay out the building on that lot as well.
Right.
Wow, because what happened on Wesley Chapel has been amazing because you can't even park in there now. You now have to go inside of the old Kmart in order to go around to the drive-through. They got the lanes. I said, it's like it has picked up instead of going backwards. So that's been amazing. So I'm sorry I'm interrupting.
No,
I had to share.
you're absolutely right. In fact, the whole concept, the drive-through concept, there's a young lady by the name of Kalila Cooper who has helped revolutionize much of that drive-through concept. And the response that you've seen during COVID, Kalila has helped lead that as well on the outside. And so our restaurants actually have been as profitable, and in some cases much more profitable, depending on the type of restaurant. Our malls are not quite as profitable, but our other standalone freestanding restaurants have been as profitable, if not more, during this time frame. And so we appreciate all of your listeners who are going to Chick-fil-A.
Yes, thank you for being Raven fans. We really appreciate you.
Yes, yeah. Well, your rewards program is pretty good. So you get points every time you buy something. So and then you start sending me hints on my email. you got to get your chicken sandwich. I said, no, I'm trying to build it up some more. So,
So Commissioner, you have the Chick-fil-A One app, I presume.
oh yeah. I go there, put it up there. I didn't know I accumulate so many points. It's like, this has been amazing, but I'm trying to save it up for the big sandwich I want, but it's coming.
It's coming.
So
I was
thank
like,
you.
it sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, I'm a pro. Cause see, I grew up. I didn't know I was calling your name wrong. I went to the one in Colorado in the '90s, and I was calling it Chick-fil-A. Something. I wasn't even called Chick-fil-A, and I didn't know where I was eating at, but it was out there in Colorado. I was stayed in Greeley, Colorado.
Yes.
And then we would go somewhere and then we see this place, and then we came to Georgia. This thing is like was everywhere, but the sandwich was just so different, and it. I don't know. I can't explain it, but you all did something to the sandwich. But it was it stuck on. Then the service was always different and unique, and so we tried it out there because it wasn't that many. But then we came here. We just like, man, it's almost on every other corner. So
That's right.
We came to the hometown of Chick-fil-A. So that's been an amazing journey. So and the service, the customer service has been very consistent. I mean, you feel like you almost like white linen tablecloths when you walk in. It don't even feel like a fast food establishment. And the service is to have somebody to bring your meal to you, and then they ask you if you want some water or some, I call it pop, you may call it soda, while you're sitting down, and then having somebody just to go around and greet you. That's a step up that has that I think a lot of folks try to emulate, but it's hard to, because that's something that you have to have in your heart to really, you got to be part of your service delivery strategy. It can't be something that you fake. It has to be, and that's why your interview process I saw around the owner operators is so key, because once you find one, like the one we had, Turner Hill and TJ, you really stay connected with them. Is more than just the sandwich they're trying to sell you. They want to sell. They're part of the community. So that's why, we had you on tonight, because a lot of people ask us, how do you own one? Because you don't see a lot of them in South DeKalb. I think we probably got 2, but what you have and what you offer, I want to make sure people know that we need more of those type of restaurants in our community. And I know Rodney is looking at some sites in our South DeKalb, more sites, and we look forward to. I mean, we're getting the largest movie studio in the Western Hemisphere is coming to my district. So right there,
Black Hall.
Black Hall and what they're doing, and so that's going to help. I got Georgia State University on Panthersville. Of course, the mall right now it needs to, it's trying to move in the right direction. But we're putting a $15 million new transit hub at South DeKalb Mall to allow Uber and Lyft, and trying to get some small markets to be there to sell like, fruit and vegetables and stuff. So the renaissance is happening in the district. So, but keep going. I digress. I didn't here to talk about what I'm doing, but I want to show people how to become an owner operator.
That's excellent. And to Sonia's point, I'm gonna let her get back to it. You have 5 Black operators in South DeKalb or in the DeKalb area. And so it definitely is something that I want folks to aspire towards, and that they can aspire towards that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just getting ready to say the same thing Rodney said. I just want to continue to emphasize it's an opportunity and you can achieve it. You just have to be prepared and be ready to go for it. And don't be shy about it. Just make up your mind that that's your passion and that's what you want to do. You want to be a servant leader in your community. You want to be a business owner and you want to help lead and grow others. That's the type of thing that we want you to think about when you talk about being a Chick-fil-A owner operator. The other thing too, Commissioner, that I want to share when we talk about the realm of financial stewardship, and it's about the $10,000, yes, that's one component of it, but I do want your listeners to know that we will actually do what we call a financial background check as well. So we will do credit checks, we will do background checks. All of that is a standard part of our process in assessing our applicants or our candidates who want to become Chick-fil-A owner operators. So I don't want people to get cautious or scared about that, because it's just the standard part of the process that we do to make sure we understand and clearly know everyone that we're going into business with. So That's a part of that process. And the other thing I wanted to emphasize too is it's a business opportunity, but it's one of those business opportunities where you have to be in the business constantly, right? So it may be missed birthday parties, it may be missed ballet recitals for the first 6 to 9 months or the first year even to get your business up off the ground. It's a lot like other businesses in that it takes that initial commitment and sacrifice when you're first opening to be there to get your business going and to build that platform of success that you want to succeed going forward. So it may be those sacrifices that you make early on, but please believe me, it's definitely worth the reward in the end.
Wow, beautiful. I'm gonna stop there and open it up for questions. And I did send a young lady over there. Now she's finished her first year at Howard University at the one in Wesley Chapel. And this lady here, I mean, her parents say she loved work. She loves to go to work because she was just sitting at home. I said, no, you got to get a balance in your life. You can be a brainiac all day, but you got to try to balance that off. And so this experience helped her. I mean, she got a whole bunch of scholarships, but she's going to be a pre-med major. She's doing pretty good. It's her first year. Of course, COVID kind of blocked a lot of stuff, but you just have grown some champions, some young champions. I think gonna make an impact in the world. So, Brandon, is there any questions for our two guests tonight? I want to get them 2 or 3 questions before I let them go about their lives. Any questions?
All righty. Yes, sir. We have a few. Once
Okay.
you get through the entire process and are approved, what is the training process like in duration?
I heard the first part of that, Brandon. I didn't hear the last part.
I said, what is the training process like and how long is it?
Thank you. Our training process, once you're successful and selected as an owner-operator, if I can talk, excuse me, the training process is a 4-week process that we actually have for you to go through. And in those 4 weeks, we take you through everything from financial stewardship overview. We take you through like profit and loss statements overview. We take you through restaurant training. We partner you with existing operators who serve as your coach for a period of time, not just that 4 weeks, but over a course of time, so that you clearly understand things that you're asking for and you're going to get into once you enter into your restaurant. So it's about a 4 to 6 week process, 4 weeks educational and 2 weeks pretty much in the restaurant.
Wow, great. All right, Mr. Fields, next question.
All right. How much variety do you have as a franchise owner? For example, my nearest Chick-fil-A is doing a family night delivery. Is that standard across all franchises?
Doing a family night delivery, is that what I understood?
Yes.
So there are standard programs that will be executed and implemented by market. Operators within a certain market will get together and execute certain promotional opportunities and events within their market. Operators do have some flexibility to execute different programs that are applicable for their community so that they can draw in their customers and their guests and appeal to either high school spirit nights, or they do daddy-daughter date nights, or they do different types of events. They do have the liberty to do a lot of those, but with some guidance around, is it a market event or is it going to be a specific event for that particular location?
That's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, my
All
daughter
right,
used
that's
to
all we got, sir.
Yeah, my daughter used to do the daddy nights out over there. She did the luau. She planned some type of coloring event for the children. And I mean, she went from just behind the cash register to start doing events and marketing, which is amazing, and making it happen. So, but before we go, I want to just make a few announcements. Mr. Bullard, you go and take it away. Any more?
I'm going to say 2 quick things, man. But one, I want to thank you for having us on here first and foremost. And 2, I want to also remind your listeners that we have a great scholarship program for those whose children work at Chick-fil-A. In fact, a young man by the name of Shamar Little received a $25,000 scholarship, and he was working at the Wesley Chapel location under TJ Wilson. And so in fact, someone in your district has received the highest scholarship award that we give. And so I do want folks to know that. And we give anywhere from $2,500 scholarships up to a large $25,000 scholarship as well.
Yeah, those scholarships work. My daughter got a $1,000 one, so we happy. Thank you. We got it through Georgia State University. That was good. Before I let them say some parting words, I want to just remind you on this Saturday, We're continuing. Last Saturday, we did 2 cleanups on Gresham Road, and we did one over there at Boulder Crest. We're about to start an initiative called the Charm Center. It's a recycling center with a farm that we're about to put on Columbia Drive on land that we have. But we also did Gresham Road. I mean, we did we had about 40 volunteers who came out at 9:30, and we did some, I mean, families came out too, Mr. Bullock. We just didn't have we had family, I even had churches come out. But we're going to continue that on this Saturday. We're going to meet at Big Lots on Candler Road. And this one, we're going to have the hip hop community from Atlanta hip hop community will be out. Like last year, we had about 200 people who showed up besides our regular volunteers. So please come on out at 9:30. We want you to be part of that. And we're going to clean up Candler Road. We're going to go all the way down until we can finish. We only do 2 hours. So we go from 9:30, we can go as far as we can, and we clean up the entryways. And we just want to help out the community. And we just do this. I'm a catalyst and convener. The goal is we want you to continue these in your neighborhood and make things happen. Of course, on the next week, we'll be on Wesley Chapel, the 1st, and then we're going on the 8th, we're going over to Moreland Avenue because we're rained out. But please come on out and be a part of making those happen. We also are offering with Medcura, which is a health provider on Candler Road, free testing, COVID testing, and free vaccines. We Monday through Friday at South DeKalb by Macy's. Just got to make an appointment. Please, please, please come on out and be a part. And then we're going to unveil our new commercial. I teamed up with Morehouse School of Medicine. I can't wait. I've seen it, but our staff will put together a great video that we're going to air starting next week to let folks know that COVID is still here and you need to mask up, get a vaccine, and make things happen. But I want you all to know about that. And then on the 27th, we normally do this in person. It's called our Public Safety Summit. I don't believe public safety is just police officers. Public safety is mental health. Public safety is youth jobs. Public safety is schools. Public safety is getting youth involved at the table. So if I'm not one of those commissioners say we just get more police, everything will be fine. No, they're part of the equation, but you're having a neighborhood watch. So we're going to have at 6 o'clock live, the marshal office, youth services, police, and we're going to do breakout sessions where you can talk to these departments and make things happen. And then we'll come back in and may have a larger discussion, but that's going to be at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. And then we're starting the precinct meetups. And this is where I'm going into the community with our police officers, and we're going to neighborhoods, and you're going to have the roll call in the neighborhoods. And they're going to take their roll and then go out to the areas that they have to patrol. But I'm trying to build as much connection with the community as possible because we're trying to move forward. Of course, we're trying to do these things because I'm using these. I'm going to take these nationally. I'm going to be president of the National Association of Counties in July. I get inaugurated. So I'll be with all 3,000 counties in the country. So I'm going to take all of what we do. I met with President, I've been meeting with President, talked to President Biden. I've talked to our Secretary of Transportation, Buttigieg, and I've had a chance to introduce the Commerce Secretary, and because they love what we did with the census here in DeKalb. And so all of these best practices we're doing here, I'm going to take them on a national model that we can do across the country. And we're going to show what DeKalb County is doing locally. And we're going to move nationally, make things happen for us. So God has given me an opportunity to lead. And so I get to do this on a national level and platform, and we're going to make it happen. So with that being said, I want to give our 2 speakers a last parting word. Just give us some inspiration because we got a lot of folks who miss prom, miss graduations, loved ones have passed away. Businesses hopes have been shattered. But give us some nuggets of inspiration, Mr. Bullard and Ms. Costin, on words of wisdom on people that can take away from tonight. I'll start with ladies first. Ms. Sonia.
Thank you, Commissioner. I would encourage people to continue to look forward, continue to look up. Things may look a little gloomy right now. We've been through a horrific year last year, but we are coming out of it. There's opportunity, there's light, there's inspiration, there's sunshine, there's happiness on the other side. Just continue to look up and look ahead because it is there. Opportunities are there, and it's up to us to go get them and to seek them. but just continue to think positive. As hard as it may be in the environment in which we live right now, I just encourage you to find some positivity in everything that you do. It will help you immensely as you continue to set your trajectory and going forward. And I also wanted to make sure that I say, with Chick-fil-A and looking at this opportunity to become a franchisee, again, I want to say it's achievable. You can do it. Anything you set your mind to, you can do it. This is definitely one of those things. And at Chick-fil-A, we say, as a franchisee, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. So we are there. We have a support center here in College Park that supports our businesses across the nation. You run your own business. It's your business, but we are here to help in any way that we can to support you with different aspects of the business and how we can support you. So in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Keep looking up, look ahead, and stay strong.
Come on now. Come on, Brother Bullitt. Bring us home. Bring us home.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you to Sonia for coming in and sharing not only her wisdom, but her competence and her expertise as well. I think that was on full display today. So thank you, Sonia. Appreciate you. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Congratulations on 19 years of service to DeKalb County, my friend. You have been a wonderful stalwart and a leader in this community, an example for many. And I just want to tell those who are listening to continue to remember that you're not by yourself. I love what Sonia said. The story of Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A, is an important story. I learned about Chick-fil-A when I was at South DeKalb Mall, which was the closest Chick-fil-A to me at the time. And I would take the samples that they gave outside the nuggets, and I would take more than my share. My mother made me look up who the founder of Chick-fil-A was, and it was S. Truett Cathy. And I was encouraged to learn that Truett Cathy was from Atlanta. But I also was even more encouraged when I learned that his second business failed, actually, and that he wasn't always successful. And he grew up in the nation's first housing project, and he had to pull himself up by his bootstrap. And his first restaurant is called the Dwarf House because it's so small. And so there are a lot of folks out there who are listening who right now may feel as if their lives are small, or may feel as if their beginnings are small, but the Bible tells us don't despise a day of small beginnings. And so continue to have faith in yourself, continue to believe in yourself. And just as Sonia said, you can do it. And it may not be Chick-fil-A, it may be something else, but continue to aspire towards whatever that is God has for you.
All right, you heard it here. We thank you for tuning in and being a part of our Touchpoint. We look forward to seeing you next week with special time, 6 o'clock. We're going to focus on public safety and prevention. Signing off. Thank you all to our special guests. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and everybody be safe, mask up, wash your hands, and let's continue because we're going to defeat this pandemic. Thank you all. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.